Okay. I made an executive decision to turn my air conditioner on. Okay, we're recording now. So welcome everyone to the Community Advisory Committee's monthly meeting. Sebastian, can you take a roll call?
I certainly can. Carolyn Schofield.
Present.
Ed Lopez.
Present.
Tom Summers.
Present.
Nice van you have there. Gary Johns.
Present.
Larry Emerson.
Present.
Matthew Vasilakis.
Present.
David Harris.
Present.
Aida Castañeda.
Present.
Secretary Webb.
Present.
Vice Chair Hammond.
Present, and I again have my newborn on me, so my camera is off, so I apologize for that, but I am present.
No apologies needed. Hope he's doing well. And Chair Price.
Present.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 members present right now, so we have a quorum.
Okay. Moving on to the next item. Are there any public comments for items not on the agenda?
Chair Price, we did have a gentleman submit a written public comment where he indicated that, let me pull it up here. I am submitting 5 slides to the website. And actually, the gentleman who submitted the written public comment just raised his virtual hand. I do want to note for the committee that I did not receive slides. So Mr. Peterson, if you have talking points that you can share, let me go ahead and unmute you. And you can speak for 3 minutes. So give me 1 second and then I will unmute you. Okay, so Mr. Peterson, you now have 3 minutes. You can go ahead and speak, Mr. Peterson. I've noticed you've unmuted yourself, but we can't hear you. Not sure if it's me.
This is David Peterson. Are you talking to?
Yeah, yes, sir. You have 3 minutes for your
Okay.
non-agenda public comment.
Okay, do you have the slides that I submitted also?
Sir, we did not receive slides to the info@sdcommunitypower.org email address. But if you want to reshare those, I can
I
share
sent
with.
them on the. I clicked. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's okay, sir. If you want to speak to your slides during this time and then resend the slides to the info@ email address, I can make sure that our committee members get it. I checked it this morning and I did not see it.
I sent it on by clicking on the web form. So where should I send it?
Mr. Peterson, if you can send them to info@sdcommunitypower.org, that can make sure that we receive the slides and we're able to show them. So apologies for the inconvenience. The instructions are laid out on the agenda for any materials to be sent to the committee members, that they be sent to that email address. The form that you utilized is for public comments, and then for any materials, you shall utilize the email address. So at this point, sir, do you have any comments that you want to share?
Well, I can kind of go through them without the comments, if I may.
Please,
I'll defer that to the chair. Okay, yes, please go ahead.
please. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the slides will show I'm suggesting 4 changes or additions or something else, whatever you want to call them, to the chart that is on page 17 of the February 11th CAC presentation. The changes are, for column 4, I suggest you put a question mark after the MW and put a S or a W if it's a solar project, or a W if it's a wind project, and also include an entry megawatts H for energy storage. And so then Viking entry energy, entry would be 100S and 150/600. Also, I suggest that you add a column for the percent of major component made in the USA, not China. I suggest that you add numerical weight for each column and sum the weights for total value. And I suggest a new column 5 with a heading MTCO2, that's metric tons of CO2. And that is for the natural gas makeup that a project would have to make to fill in the gaps that happen. And I have a next slide, charge 3, shows how we could apply the filling up the gaps to a typical wind profile for someplace in New Mexico, assume Duran Mesa as an example. And you can calculate from that what the amount of CO2 tons would be. The next chart shows the calculation that shows that there are about 54,000 metric tons of CO2 every year submitted, that were emitted by the
Sir, you have 30
natural
seconds.
gas. Okay, about, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Peterson. And as I mentioned, apologies for the confusion. For the slides, please see the email address that's listed on the agenda, info@sdcommunitypower.org.
Okay.
And please email your slides to that email address, and I will make sure that our committee members receive
I'm sorry.
the slides
All right.
that you referenced.
Thank you.
In
Thank you so
addition
much.
to that, I'd like to suggest, and maybe it's just me, but it sounded like the conversation may be more suited to be shared with the board of directors rather than the community advisory committee. But we will definitely accept, that information and take a look at it. It sounded like some pretty good information. So, but I think, in my humble opinion, it may be better suited or better directed towards the board of directors. But we thank you for your comments anyhow. Sebastian, next. No more public comments?
That's it for written public comments. And I do not see other hand raised, and I do see Dr. Peter Anderson. So let me promote him to panelist so he can join you all. Perfect. Please go ahead, Chair.
Okay, so next are there any items?
Hey, this is Peter. Did you not call on me?
I'm
This
not
is
quite sure. Did you call
this-
on Peter, Sebastian?
Yeah, this is Dr. Peter Anderson. I just have a quick comment.
Okay, go ahead, sir. 3
Uh,
minutes.
I could not find, no, it's not I'm a member of your committee, but I didn't get a
Oh.
link to, I never got a link to this meeting. I searched for about 20 minutes, could not find the link. Finally, I used the March 11th link, and that's how I'm here. So if I could please get a link in the future so I can find you, that would be most appreciated.
Thank you. I believe Sebastian will make that happen. And who are you representing, Mr. Anderson?
Well, I'm one of the members supporting the unincorporated areas of the city,
Okay, so
Of the
you're
county.
with the county. Okay,
of the county.
good. Welcome,
Thank you.
welcome. Now item number 4, items withdrawn, reordered on the agenda. Are there any? I'm assuming not because nobody's saying anything. So I believe we can move on to number 5, receive an update on the CEO officer search process.
Hi, everyone. Rita De La Fuente here, Director of External Affairs. Nice to see you all. I will just give a really brief update on our search for our CEO. Earlier this week, I believe, we sent out our press release announcing Karen Burns as the chosen candidate for SDCP's CEO. Her first day will be April 18th. That's when she assumes the role. So she looks forward to joining the CAC meeting next month on May 11th. And she's also really eager to engage with each of you directly in your community. Bill Carnahan's last day will be the 15th of April. And if you have any questions, let me know. I can either relay them to Karen or try to answer them.
Okay, thank you. We're getting kind of excited and looking forward to the future.
Absolutely.
Number 6, Sebastian. Oh, David Harris has his hand up.
Yes, I wanted to ask if the members who served on the subcommittee could give us just a little overview of how well the process went and whether the CAC's input was taken into consideration.
Matthew, would you like to field that?
No process is perfect, but I thought that we were given an opportunity to provide input, and we did. So, looking forward to next steps.
I would like to say, in my humble opinion, and I don't know if I can actually say this, but she was by far, in a way, the best choice out of the 3 people that we interviewed. The other 2 were very interesting individuals, I shall say. So I'm pretty happy with the choice that the board made, personally. Thanks, Dave. Tom?
Well, I'd just like to say welcome aboard and just ask offhand, perhaps it's not appropriate, but might she be listening in just to get a feel for what her advisory committee is up to? Does anybody know?
I don't know for sure, but I don't think so. I think that there's a possibility that she might be traveling. But I know that she's watched recordings of our meetings in the past and that she really looks forward to coming in May.
Well, thanks a lot, Rita, and thanks a lot to the Ad-Hoc members who participated.
You're welcome, sir. David, your hand is still up. Do you have another comment or question? Okay, thank you. Number 6 on the agenda, approve the formation of an ad hoc work plan committee.
As a friendly reminder, Chair Price, if you would like to call on any members of the public, if they wish to make a public comment.
Are there any public comments that wish to be made?
As mentioned earlier, there were no written public comments and there are no hands raised right now.
Okay, thank you. Number 6, approve the formation of an ad hoc work plan committee.
Yes, and I will take the lead on this one. So just we did this last year. I think that the process worked pretty well, so we're restarting it. Just as a quick background, the CAC's committee purpose and scope states that the CAC will, under direction of the board and staff, adopt a work plan at the start of every fiscal year that aligns with the CAC scope provided by the board. Obviously, it's not the start of the fiscal year yet, but getting there takes time and a few meetings. I know some of you were kind enough to volunteer more of your time last year, so hopefully looking to do that again this year. For last year, yeah, we formed an ad hoc work plan committee that was made up of less than a quorum of the whole committee. And after several meetings and discussions with staff and leadership, the board adopted the CAC's fiscal year 21-22 work plan. So this will be for the next fiscal year. We're looking ahead. As mentioned, the ad hoc committee must be made of less than a quorum of the whole committee, which is now 6. Last year, that was 4. And so today we would be seeking, just to jump ahead a little bit, we would be seeking up to 6 volunteers to sit on this ad hoc work plan committee, but it could be less. So don't feel the need to fill the gap. If we have 5, that's great. If we have 4, that's great too. The maximum is 6. Self-nominations are accepted, as well as nominations of others. If nominations of others occurs, that person must accept. So say, for example, if Carolyn nominates Anna, Anna must accept that nomination. We're projecting meetings to be at least once a month for 1 hour. The goal is to complete a draft for the board's approval by the July-August timeframe, when roughly when the next fiscal year budget is due, is adopted. So the recommendation today is to form an ad hoc work plan committee of at most 6 committee members to meet on a monthly basis to discuss what the CAC should work on next fiscal year. Work is expected to wrap up by July, August of this year. And to note, the strategic planning process will influence the results of the next fiscal year work plan. And as always, we're a newer organization. And if you have ideas on process and streamlining, we'd love to hear it. So at this point, I'm finished with the discussion, Chair Price, and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, would anybody like to volunteer? Wow. Okay, so Larry Emerson and David Harris have their hands up. Is that to speak, or you're volunteering for this?
Well, I had some questions.
Okay.
So the work plan from last year, I didn't remember seeing it. What was included in the work plan, and what do we envision working on for the future?
Yeah, great question, Larry. The work plan is listed on our website under meeting notes. That the work plan was also shared with you when you were first onboarded as a new member. But it included a series of tasks, among those community outreach and education, which Rita has done plenty of with several of you. It included the addition of procurement projects being brought to the CAC. That was not part of the previous work plan for, if I get my numbers right, 2020, 2021. So that was included for 21, 22. In addition to the various tasks that were included for the current work plan was the training on legislative priorities, regulatory and legislative training. Those materials are found in the presentation from last month. So we've been checking off different items that were suggested by you all. I recall David Harris from La Mesa had suggested the legislative training, so we included that. And then I believe Vice Chair Hammond had recommended the review of procurement projects. So we definitely take your input and try to incorporate it into what you guys want to work on. As far as next fiscal year, we want to hear from you. So one thing we can anticipate very much so is the enrollment of county residents, which will coincide with the next fiscal year. And how should we go about that if we should differ at all? That's outside my area of expertise, so I'll defer to Rita if she wants to mention anything. But that's just a flavor of the tasks that we've done in the past, and that we want to hear from you in order to have a robust work plan for the future.
Okay, I do remember the work plan. I just have to review what was in it. I would volunteer if there's someone who did it before. That would be helpful to have someone who has experience to be involved.
I am also interested in serving on the Ad Hoc Work Plan Committee.
Gary
One
or
more,
Carolyn?
One more.
I think it would be good to have someone who served on it this year as well. Gary or Carolyn, would you be interested? Be happy to nominate either of you.
I would serve. I would be glad to serve. And I would strongly encourage Carolyn to also self-nominate herself.
Her hand is raised. I'm nominating if you would accept, Carolyn.
Okay, well, I was not going to self-nominate myself this time around, but I did want to add that it was an excellent experience and I really learned a lot. And I especially learned a lot about our scope of work and studying JPA documents. I've got a lot of new commitments coming up in the next few months, so it would be a little difficult right now for me to volunteer, unfortunately. But I highly recommend it. It's not a huge time commitment, and there's already a great document there. So hopefully we'll have some more people who will volunteer. Thank you.
So you're not taking the nomination, just for?
Well, not at this moment.
Okay. I just wanted to get clear on, where we're trying to count people, so.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for serving last year and thank you for almost wanting to serve this year. Anna, your hand is up.
Yes, I'll self-nominate to serve.
Okay, so Sebastian, that's 4, correct?
I believe Gary said he'd be willing, but I'd love to get a bit more clarity. And I do see he has his hand up.
So you want me to, you're okay. I felt that there was a little bit of a procedural hiccup there. I would take what Tara said as not an official nomination that Carolyn could not refuse. And so I think we're clear that Carolyn is not self-nominating because of her commitments. And I just want the record to reflect that we didn't deviate from the established rules there.
Yeah, that sounds correct. Carolyn did not accept the nomination, but so as of right now, I have 3 confirmed, Secretary Webb, Larry, and David. And Gary, unless I misunderstood, I'm interpreting that you are not going to participate, or please correct me if I'm misunderstanding that.
No, my point was that you said at the start that if nominated, you couldn't refuse. And I wanted to interpret Tara's, I'll say, not unequivocally stated desire to have Carolyn on the committee was not, in fact, a true nomination that Carolyn could not refuse. Is that
I see. So maybe that's my fault. How I
Because
framed it.
anybody can refuse a nomination. That I don't even think that's legal in America to have people do some stuff they don't want to do. I think the question is now, Gary, are you willing, or do you want to serve on this committee?
Yes, I am willing to serve on this committee.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think it's all cleared up now. We all good? Anna, your hand is still up. Do you have something to say, ma'am?
Yes, I just have a question. I did self-nominate. I would be happy to serve on this ad hoc committee. I just wondered, excuse me, procedurally, I have filed my intent to run for IB City Council District 3. And I just wanted to make sure that as a candidate, I would be allowed to participate on the committee. I don't see why not, but I just wanted to clarify that that would be okay.
As far as I'm concerned, Anna, I think that's fine. If at any point you identify a potential conflict of interest, just feel free to let us know and maybe not be part of that decision. And we have 4 members with you right now. If at any point you do need to step away, at least from keeping the work going, that's fine. We have 3 very capable members as well, so I don't see a concern.
And Sebastian, if you could run this particular situation into our general counsel or somebody, because this is a unique situation where one of our members may become a city council person for a city that we're representing, and what is the, what's that look like?
Yeah, great point.
It's all Anna's fault, you know what I mean? She and then she ran off to the snow.
Yeah, and my head's spinning around. Okay.
Yeah, I will certainly check with our legal counsel. Thank you for the suggestion, Chairperson.
Okay, please and thank you. Aida, am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes, you're pronouncing it right. I'd like to also nominate myself for the committee.
Okay.
Ad hoc committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
So we're up to 5 now?
Yeah, and again, the maximum is 6. 5 is perfect, 4 is perfect. So if there's anyone else that wants to participate, you're obviously more than welcome to do so. But I do want to stress that we don't have to have 6. That's just the maximum.
Right. 5 seems to be a pretty healthy number. So is there a process So we approved the formation. Do they have to get sworn in or whatever? Or you'll contact them later about what they need to do from here on out for that committee.
Yep, that's correct. We don't need a vote right now, just a consensus on the members. And then I'll reach out to all 5 of them on the next steps. And just as we did last year, we can come back to the committee to provide regular updates on how the work plan development is going to tee it up for the eventual final version.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to, and thank you everybody that volunteered for that assignment, ad hoc committee. Number 7, standing item, receive update on the community power plan development.
Chair Price, just a friendly reminder if you want to entertain public comments from the public on the previous item.
On number 6?
Yes.
Is there any public comment on item number 6, approving the formation of the ad hoc committee?
I'm gonna give the public a minute to see if they want to raise their hand. And confirming that there are no hands raised.
Okay. So now we're to receive an update on community power plan development. I guess that's Nelson.
We currently kicked this off, but this item is meant for the 2 committee members who Carolyn Schofield and Matthew Vasilakis, to kind of provide an update on where we stand with the community power plan. I'll just preface this by saying staff has been working on for the past month, has been working on finalizing the scope of work and the budget. So that's the update from the staff's perspective, but I'll let Carolyn fill in the gaps.
Thank you.
So as far as the scope of work and the budget being finalized, that's really important, because the scope of work, we actually modified it a lot for our needs and to include a lot more community engagement. So we're really excited that the budget and the scope of work is finalized. And also Calpine is still working to finalize the contract with the consultant. So we're, and I think that's about it. I'll turn it back over to Nelson.
I was gonna say, Carolyn, I sent an email right before this, but we actually got approval to share who the consultant is. So if you wanna do the honors.
All right, so the consultant is Arab, A-R-U-F-U-P, excuse me. So that's the company that we've chosen, and they're a really large, experienced company, and they worked a lot with LA, and they worked with one of the plans that is being used in LA, the local programs plan that we're very excited about. And we're really glad to welcome them aboard. So it's going to be fantastic, because they have a lot of data and knowledge of our region, which will really help us, because we want to be able to take advantage of every local program that exists, and also be able to have innovative new ideas that are specific to our location. So
cool.
Really good news.
Matthew, would you like to add anything to that?
No, that was a great encapsulation. Oh, the other note is that they also did eSpace. So, and eSpace is a great model. So this is going to be a great project.
And ours is going to be better by the time we get done. Thank you. I guess that's it on that, correct?
Hey, Eddie, I got a quick question. That was ARUF, and is that can we Google that? Carolyn?
It's ARUP, and I would have to I would Google it right now to try it, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Is a RUP, is that it? Just the RUP?
Yeah.
RUP Laboratories or RUP Engineering or? Okay.
Okay, I'm looking.
Yeah, it's arup.com. There's the website.
Engineer in Los Angeles
Okay.
and Wilshire.
Thanks.
Okay, good deal. Yes, Anna.
Well, I guess my question would be, come between item 7 and item 8. But so let's see if there's any
It's
more
gonna come
discussion.
between.
Well, I just wanted to clarify attendance. I'm taking notes.
Okay,
The only person I noted that is not present today is Jen Dirks. Is that correct? I want to make sure I didn't miss someone.
Hey, Anna, feel free to follow up with me on the people, but I have 11 members in attendance today, and we're a total of 14. So we're missing Jen, Victoria Abrenica, and help me out, guys.
Okay, yeah, I'll follow up with you on that. I'll count,
Yeah.
make sure I have 11 down. Thank you so much. Just double checking the details.
okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 8. Discussion of potential agenda items for Board of Directors meetings. Do any of us have any items that we'd like to speak about going to the board?
8 and 9 and 10.
Pardon me?
We went from 7 to 11.
That's my fault.
Recycled document there from last month.
Ignore that. Good catch, Tom.
I don't understand what you're saying, so maybe somebody can help me clarify where we're at now. We're on number 8, correct?
Yeah, but the slide, I forgot to update it from 11 to 8. Good attention to detail, Tom. I'm gonna have to send you my slides before I post them.
Oh, now I get it. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I had a meltdown or something. Be all that as it may be, do we have any discussion items for the board? And seeing no hands. Oh, Larry?
Yes, I just wondered in the past how much the board and San Diego Community Power has looked into energy storage as part of their strategies, and if they, and maybe someone can bring me up to speed. If not, I think that's very important aspect to look as we upgrade the system and make improvements. So the energy storage could be at people's homes. It could be part of a business, and it could tie into San Diego Community Power's efforts. Can anybody is familiar with that? What they've done as far as investigating energy storage?
Hey, Larry, I can tackle that. I would say that there's different angles. Energy storage is absolutely part of the transition to 100% renewable energy by 2035. It can serve different functions such as resource adequacy and reliability on a kind of utility scale. In terms of more of a local distributed energy resource, I would say the discussions were going to start with Arab as part of their community power planning process. Will really tell us how that should look like on a more specific scale. And that's my elevator pitch on the CBP. I'll defer to Nelson and Carolyn and Matt, who have been leading this effort, if they want to chime in further. But that's kind of where we're at in terms of laying out the process. Nelson, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, the only thing I want to say is that I don't want to stray too much from this agenda item since that might be in violation of what we're supposed to do for this agenda item. But I will say that Sebastian, you got it pretty right in terms of like when it comes to home battery storage or business battery storage, those types of programs will be addressed within the scope of the CPP. And the board has previously, I would say in previous contracts that have come before the board for large scale renewable projects, energy storage has been added as part of that, but I'm gonna stop it at that so that we don't get in trouble.
Thank you.
And I think I didn't mention schools, but I've been in touch with schools recently about different programs, but I think schools could have a lot of advantage if some of them have put solar systems, but not put the energy storage, which doesn't make sense to me. Or at least now they should be thinking more in that direction. So I would add, beside businesses, schools should be considered when that community power plan is developed.
Peter?
Yeah, being new on the committee, I'm not sure if the board has considered and researched what I'm about to suggest in the past. But given that there is new geothermal power procurement, which is largely clean, renewable energy, right here in Imperial County, our next door neighbor, I'd like to hear a report on whether or not that power source is going to be procured by the CCA and put on our grid.
Okay. And I think to Nelson's point, I don't know if these two comments actually go to the standing item, but we will take note of them and try to find the appropriate place to put them in. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments from the public?
There are no hands raised, Chair Price.
Okay, Peter, your hand is still up. Is that on purpose or?
No, it's just a residual hand.
Okay, thank you. Any committee member announcements? I'd like to, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna say it. We've been, myself and Rita, and sometimes the person from that specific geographical location have been actually visiting and driving around these communities that San Diego Community Power serves. And I think it's been very enlightening for both of us as we look at the opportunities that exist in different cities. And so one thing, I should have said this on number 8, but I think one thing that would be interesting for the cities to do is to give us a list or acquire a list of all city-owned properties so that we can see what we're working with, city and county-owned properties, to see what that matrix looks like. But as we go to the next city, I'm not quite sure which one that's going to be. You know, we started in Imperial Beach, and that was very enlightening. Then the next one was La Mesa, and that had different characteristics to it. And so I'm not quite sure what the next one is going to be. But we would like, you know, whoever the representative is from that specific community to actually be involved in what we're doing there and give us their eyesight and their view of what they're doing. So I just want to kind of report on that. I don't even know what that process is called, field trips or something. But I do know that it's extremely beneficial to those of us that take it, because we're seeing these communities through different eyes, because all these communities are actually different. So I just want to mention that. Yes, Charles. I mean, Tom, or whatever your name is. What's your name, dude?
Yeah, that's why I have 2 names, is so I can make sure I can get out there. A couple of announcements. The first one is that tomorrow is EVs and coffee at EV West in San Marcos, and the Electric Vehicle Association is going to be in attendance. I hope Larry is going to be there, and I unfortunately am still iffy at this point. And my second announcement is more of a query or a cautionary note. I thought about bringing it up earlier when Anna made her comment. I've recently moved out of Imperial Beach onto my boat, which is in San Diego Harbor. I do have Imperial Beach as a home port, and I do have Imperial Beach as my PO box. But I don't want to be in violation of either the letter or the spirit of the law. I understand the letter of the law is that absolute residency is not 100% requirement for all of us, and that there might be one of us already who doesn't live in the town that he or she represents. However, I don't want to be called into question or to put any of you other people on the spot about this. So, and that's perhaps one of the reasons that you didn't see my hand up for the ad hoc committees. I would love to participate, but I also want to not be on this panel if my residency precludes me from it. And so perhaps this is something, Sebastian, that we could run by the in-house council. And also, this being an election year, we're liable to have some significant personnel changes on the board of directors as well. Some of us who might get elected might even be in line to become a member of said board. And so I think we should have a look at this. And like I say, if residency is a strict requirement, then I may have to submit my regrettable resignation. But I will find out more. I've already looked into it somewhat, and I did take the the first step. I let Anna know, and I also let Rita know. So yeah, I just definitely do not want to be giving the impression of stretching the rules. So thanks.
Thank you. Any other committee member announcements? Carolyn?
Yeah, South Bay Earth Day is tomorrow. It's at 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Memorial Park, which is right downtown in Chula Vista.
Thank you. Gary?
Yes, I just wanted to follow up what you said about the, the city tour concept. And Rita has approached me about this, and I believe Encinitas will be the next city that the drive around is done in. And she's talked to me about trying to make sure it's a date that's okay with me to be the local board member.
Okay, thank you. So I guess we'll be talking more about this. David?
Yes, so if you're in the East County tomorrow, it is Earth Day in La Mesa. So I know Chula Vista puts on a much better Earth Day program, but if you're in our part of town, please come by between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. at MacArthur Park in downtown La Mesa. And then I also wanted to ask staff about the strategic planning session coming up in May. I believe it's the day after our next meeting. Is that a firm date, and will we be receiving will the CAC be receiving some materials in advance?
Hi, David. I understand that we're still working on confirming that date. So I would imagine that once Karen has assumed her role officially, then we'll go ahead and confirm that. And yes, we'll be sure to send out information and materials to you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anna?
Yes, and bringing that up, I know originally Friday, April 16th or April 15th was whatever day it was in April that was originally chosen for the strategic planning. I want to confirm that's been canceled because
Yes.
okay, great. Because I thought it was, but I'm here out of town and I needed to plan. So thank you.
So we're not meeting for that planning on the 15th?
Correct. The strategic planning session on the 15th has been canceled.
Thank you.
And it's tentatively scheduled for May 14th. So we should hold that date.
Oh, let me make sure.
Yes.
Yes, please. Thank you.
David, you have something else more to say?
That's it. Thanks, Chair Price.
Rita, I see your hand up.
Please, I know this is committee member announcements. I just wanted to let everybody know that San Diego Community Power will have a booth at the South Bay Earth Day, as well as the La Mesa Earth Day on Saturday. Will also be at the Encinitas Street Fair on Sunday. So please stop by and see us if you're around, and hope everybody has a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Anna, your hand is still up? Okay.
Sorry, I was taking notes. I got distracted.
And you're an excellent note taker. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that, but we sincerely appreciate your professionalism taking these notes. And you've left out all the cuss words I cuss in, and you just leave those out, and I really appreciate that.
Well, I was told that I only need to document the items of order, and so I don't have to. The first one I sent was a book, and Sebastian so kindly and diplomatically told me, yeah, you can just do it succinctly, and that's fine.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I believe that I think this might be record breaking, but we might have done this in under an hour. So I want the new people on the committee, don't get used to these quick, fast committee meetings, because sometimes they get kind of long.
You got it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. I believe this is it. Everyone have a beautiful, wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time.
I've got my coat on, but thank you, Chair Price.
Bye, everyone.
Stay warm, Anna.
Bye.
Good to see you all.